I think I should have stronger feelings about this movie than I do. That's the mostly I'm going to take away from seeing Nonstop. But what about you?
My feelings about it are the only bad things I have to say are really aimed at one aspect of the film, and that would be the motivation behind its villains, as it were.
Villains at the end of the film. So we saw Nonstop, and you ever seen a movie that like you weren't expecting to like? You're halfway through it. It's got your attention. It's like, yeah, I'm with this movie. I'm grooving to this movie.
I was expecting to like it somewhat.
But you weren't expecting to like it as much as you wound up liking it.
No, it wasn't.
You weren't expecting to like it as much as you wound up liking, at least until the third act. And then it just kind of...
It only took a few lines. I knew there was no coming back from that.
No, there was just nothing.
Once they unveiled the plot, as it were.
Basically, like, it set up this mystery, it set up this intrigue, and then they finally give you the meaty morsel at the end of the maze, and it turns out it's got a few mealworms inside.
Yeah, the twist, as it were, whatever.
I wouldn't call it a twist.
No, that's the thing. It wasn't a.
I don't think it was really a twist.
I was expecting a twist, though.
You were expecting a twist, and they know that.
I should say, rather, the lack of twist. And where they went with it was, we both were just...
Ha! It's like, come on. We did one of these, like, the movie theater we saw it in was...
yeah.
You know, it was like about half full, or on the verge of being half full.
It wasn't even half. It's like a quarter full, maybe.
Yeah, I know. So it was. We had to be respectful, but if it was just us, I would have gone, oh, come on!
Yeah.
But,
we both knew what we were thinking when that happened. We'll get to that.
But we'll get to that. So, the movie today was Nonstop, the latest Liam Neeson vehicle. And with any Liam Neeson movie, he is awesome, but you know, but I don't think but he's not awesome like as he was in like the first.
He's
Taken.
not. No, it's not like Taken.
And which is the first big surprise about this movie.
It's also not like Taken 2, which is a good thing.
Yeah, like Taken. We were expecting Taken in the air, you know, like, hurry, there's no time, we must catch our flight.
I was thinking Speed, probably. Speed, what was it, Speed 2? The airplane one?
No, that was, I think, oh, crap. Now you got me on the spot. I didn't pay any attention to Sandra Bullock movies.
It was one of the Speed movies. I don't...
Cruise Control.
Pretty sure it was on a plane.
And the first one is on the bus, and then
yeah.
I think the second Speed movie just lost me at the subtitle. Cruise Control.
Yeah.
Well, that's just shorthand for don't see this, Bennett.
Yeah, it's better than that. It's better than Taken 2.
It's better than Taken.
Not as good as Taken 1.
Not as good as Taken.
So that gives you about an idea of where this fits in the.
You know, like if we were to judge this on a career arc that I think Liam Neeson is on, like the only actor I could.
Oh, that's true.
Like on this character arc, like this actor arc, actually, rather. This actor arc that Liam Neeson has been writing since, I don't know, when has Liam Neeson just started becoming like the end-all to be-all, like, gentleman actor, as it were, for, like, blockbusters?
I want to say
like
Taken.
No,
I mean, he started doing it before Taken.
Yeah,
He's always done it.
He's always done it,
but it's usually been incremented.
Yeah, like
he would do something like Schindler's List, something like that.
Schindler's List, and then but then he would do something like Rob Roy, which is like
first. Well, Rob Roy wasn't even. It's not one of those generic action flick films. I mean, it had a lot of other aspects to it, but yes, it was Liam Neeson kicking ass.
It was Liam Neeson kicking ass because, you know, Liam Neeson is a big guy, and you expect him, and so he has that physical presence. But if you listen to him talk, and you listen to him, and you look at him carrying himself, he's not like an action star.
I'm amazed at how. I mean, it's like if you look at him in Excalibur, and then look at him now.
Yeah, it's
like the acting has gone a long way, but his physical appearance hasn't changed much.
I know.
That's a pretty good thing, you know?
Yeah, I know, because he's always...
It doesn't look like he's had much done. He's just aged really well.
It's like Liam Neeson, I think, is like Morgan Freeman in that they were both born at 45.
Exactly. He always looked that way, so it's...
So it's no problem. But he's reached. I think this is the point. I was talking about this with Gabe earlier. But Liam Neeson, I think, is on this trajectory that I think right now he's at his peak. Like right now, we've already seen 2 Liam Neeson movies so far.
It's kind of like, you know what? Never mind. I was just going to say it was kind of like Nicolas Cage. But no, Nicolas Cage has just kind of been doing the same thing.
Nicolas Cage is a goddamn force of nature. Okay, so
forget that.
There is no trajectory. The only guy who I've ever seen who has a more erratic career than fucking Nicolas Cage is Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
But we're going way off topic. Liam Neeson, like I said, we've already seen 2 films of him in it, and it's not even March. So, and we're going to see at least 3, 4, maybe even 5 before the year is over.
That many?
Yeah, because he's going to be in that new Seth MacFarlane movie.
Right, we saw previews for that.
And that looks pretty good.
That looks legitimately funny, which is going to be a nice change.
That's going to be. It looks legitimately funny, and it looks interesting.
Yeah.
Like, what was it? A Million Ways to Die in the West. And I have good hopes for that.
Looks like it's got some nice action sequences.
Some great physical comedy bits. This is, we're looking forward to that movie.
A movie that's hopefully going to be funny just because it's actually funny and not because it's bad.
Yeah, and that's...
I've been waiting for a long time for a movie like that.
Okay. And just because it says Seth MacFarlane on it, don't be scared from that.
No.
Like, it's the guy, the guy when he's not doing Family Guy is a legitimately funny guy. I mean, Ted was funny, and this is shaping up to be great.
But back on...
But back on to...
course.
Back on course. Like, Liam Neeson, this is probably going to be the year that breaks him as far as, like, his overexposure is concerned. Because this is Jude Law territory we're entering.
I don't know. The guy's good. He's in good shape.
He's in good shape.
It seems... I think there's going to be a good couple more years at least, him being at his peak as far as consistently doing these action films. I give it another 2 years. Yeah, well,
personally, but like, there's the difference between having him be able to do these movies and wanting to see these movies.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I can't be sick of Liam Neeson because the guy is... He's a Titanic of an actor. He is just a presence that you can't ignore. And and I think he's one of the very few actors who has had such a breadth of career, but has never really been in a real bad movie. He's been in not so good movies, but not in a bad movie.
No. Well, Wrath of the Titans.
Shit, I forgot he was in the Titans movies. Fuck! Why'd you have to remind me of the fucking Titan movies? Why did I have to remember the Titans?
Why did I have to make... there you go.
You got it. I beat you to that.
You beat me to it. It's hit. He said it first. So
Why do we have to remember the Titans? Like, god damn it. Now I'm pissed off. You dragged me to see that fucking movie.
Not Wrath of the Titans.
Not Wrath of the Titans.
Clash of the Titans. Not that it's much better.
Why'd you go see Wrath of the Titans?
I didn't go see it. It was on TV. I didn't pay to see it, but I did see it just because.
So I think we've established that Liam Neeson.
I had to see. I had to see if it could be any worse than the first, and it was.
Well, yeah,
and it was.
I mean, just because you may have had hepatitis A doesn't mean you have to say, "What's hepatitis B feel like?" I mean, if you had A, what's its sequel like? No. But we've established that Liam Neeson could carry a movie by himself just by the fact of being Liam Neeson. Look at Taken for no further proof.
Yes.
And even Taken 2, which is... I think that Taken 2 is probably the one movie that's is the most dependent upon Liam Neeson.
Well, you haven't seen Taken 2 yet.
No, I haven't seen Taken 2 yet. But
I told you about it.
Yeah.
And, well, what I like about Taken 2 is, which it says... the fact that Liam Neeson addresses the fact that this is Taken 2. And the idea of there being a Taken 3 is so horrible that the character has to take precautions to make sure that does not happen. That's basically what Taken 2 is about.
Making sure that Taken 3
Making sure that there's no Taken 3. I do not want to kill you because... Spoilers! Then your relatives are going to get all pissed off at me, and then they're going to attack me, and I'm going to get taken by them, and then we have to kill them, and it's a vicious cycle.
Vicious cycle.
So let's end this right here. Of course, it doesn't end, though. Spoilers, does kill him, and I guess there is going to be a take.
So they're actually... That is good. That is an Ouroboros of a movie. Just the snake eating its tail over and over and over.
I mean, it's like, well, how else could this have gone? At least they addressed it, but I guess it doesn't make it better just because you address it.
No. I mean, just because you admit that you suck doesn't make you stop sucking. But we entered this movie thinking that it was going to be taken on a plane, but it's not.
No.
And we were expecting an action movie, and it's not. But
it's not non-stop action.
It's not,
as the title would imply.
Good one. But it's actually a thriller, and the thriller aspect of this movie is what ensnarls your attention by from the first act to the second act, and it's great. There's some great tension in the movie. There's some great action beats. I wouldn't call them action scenes, but there's some great action beats to the film.
It's good cinema. Yeah.
Well, up until the last third of the movie, but
it does leave you wondering. It does have some
it's setting up a mystery, and you want to find out what the mystery is. So the setup is that Liam Neeson is a U.S. Air Marshal, and he's on a plane out to England, but he gets a text message on a protected network that says that I'm going to kill someone every 20 minutes on the plane unless I get $150 million. And then things start spiraling outwards from there. Then it stops being about, saving people from getting killed. It starts being about something much bigger than that. The figures are starting pointing towards Liam Neeson, saying, like, wait a minute, the money that's being funneled from the account number, it's your bank account. Which, all right, first, which kind of raised a little flag with you, like, why wouldn't he not know his own bank account number? No, it wasn't a bank account number. It was a routing number to a bank account that's held in his name.
There were a few confusing points.
There were some confusing points, but I think the movie clarified the fact that I didn't set up that bank account. I never said, but it's in your name. So, and the movie kind of knows how to build a mystery that there's red herrings aplenty.
Oh, yes, like the Muslim gentleman with the at the beginning they did some rather focus shots of him that felt pretty obviously contrived. That this was look, it's a Muslim guy. That's got to be the person who's going to do this. No.
Like the close-up shot of a suspicious-looking bald guy.
Oh yeah, there were some nice stereotypes. Villainous looking stereotypes in this movie that were not it.
Yeah, so the movie's playing around with like, oh god, who could it be now? Who could it be now?
Knocking at my plane.
Yes, we just busted out the minute work reference for this vlog. Holla.
I don't have a drink, so I'll just.
And. The movie also even plays around with the fact that maybe that Liam Neeson is unhinged and he doesn't realize what's going on. Even though I will say that if the movie did go down that route, it would have been like the stupidest fucking thing. The movie gives you
the paranoid schizophrenia.
Yeah, the paranoid. Like if they went that route, that would have been like so fucking lame. But the movie lingers on some shots of Liam Neeson looking at himself in a broken mirror. He's had a tragic home life, of course, because he's fucking Liam Neeson.
We did say spoilers, right?
Yeah, we spoilers. Spoilers.
We did say spoilers. I always
you expect. Yeah. You expect when you go into like a half-hour to 45-minute vlog that you're going to talk about a little bit more about the story than just the synopsis. But there's like these shots that makes you like you get the image that he is not quite all there. And to the movie's credit,
he does act a bit like he's not quite all there, but who wouldn't in that situation?
Yeah, exactly. But the movie was smart enough to give, put all its cards on the table so it could not tip its hand. And I hate those kind of winking little nudges like, hey, pay attention to that. And they didn't do that. In fact, all the clues that led up to the ultimate reveal of the bad guys turned out that it didn't seem out of place. You wouldn't give it a second thought, and that is a testament to how well they spun this
yarn.
Yeah. How well they spun the mystery.
Yeah.
But the problem, the problem for me with this movie is that it got this great setup, this great execution up until like the third act, and that will lead me to my second problem. But my first problem is that while Liam Neeson is great because he's fucking Liam Neeson, Julianne Moore kind of plays his sidekick, who's, you know, just she winds up sitting next to him, and she does not have enough to do in this movie. And I get that. Yeah. You know, that's basically her role in the movie, is just being like the only woman, or actually only person on the plane, who doesn't think that he is unhinged and is going to hijack the plane.
Which is, of course, why I immediately thought, okay, she's going to be the person.
Yeah, who's trying to hijack the plane.
You know, mild chemistry between them.
You thought there was
seems too obvious that it would be the person sitting next to him. But
yeah, you wouldn't think that they would go the femme fatale route. And the movie kind of brings up the accusation, and I felt like the accusation didn't hit very hard because we don't know too much about Julianne Moore's character.
Yeah,
and we only know that she's, you know, has this scar on her chest, which
when you have a prominent actress like her and you purposefully veer away from her
having
strengths, much to do in the film, it just seems like, okay, that's all going to it's all going to be built up to the end though, and then she'll have her moment as the villainess, you know.
No, yeah, you would think, but that didn't wind up being it. So they don't really have enough for her.
And so there just wasn't very much of her.
And that's a shame because Julianne Moore is such a great actress,
yes.
And there's just not enough here for her to do in the movie. And then that was strike one. But I was willing to overlook that because, like, there was this one point in the movie, right in the middle of the movie, where I feel like, all right, I'm jiving with this movie. It was when the passengers start turning on Liam Neeson because they all think that he's this unhinged guy.
You were waiting for it the whole movie up until that point because that's what would happen probably at this point where it's on their little television screens. It's come out that the news has reported that he is taking everybody hostage on the plane or whatever, and everybody's listening to this, they're watching it, and you're like, okay, at this point, that's when you would have everybody.
Yeah,
this is when people would turn on the guy.
But they don't do it right away. They just wait for it, and then as Liam Neeson's uncovering more clues as to what's going on here, it's like the Straw Dogs kind of release.
Yeah.
And then there's this like really brutal, even for PG-13, it's this really brutal action beat where it's not like like karate on a plane.
Well, Liam Neeson hulks out on them.
Takes 4 or 5 passengers. He takes on 4 or 5 passengers. One of them a cop, and
it takes that many to bring the guy down.
Takes that guy down.
That was definitely a fun scene.
That was a fun scene. It was just like it was claustrophobic, just like on a plane, just like on a real plane. It was some of the framing shots of this movie are just so impressive, especially considering the confinement that they've had to work with. It was, they were able to get that really claustrophobic shots. They get that claustrophobic atmosphere. They get the like tense, nerve-wracking fights. Yeah, and I was at that point in the movie, I was like, okay, this is not only better than I expected. This is legit turning out to be a great movie. And like the clues are aligning and the plans starting to go together, and the everyone on the plane is just like frazzled, like and then it finally happens. They drop the bomb, so to speak. There's a bomb on the plane, but they drop the bomb, and you find out who's behind it, and it's like, okay, I get the who.
There's many times throughout the movie where you find out who's behind it, and it's not quite them.
Not quite them. I mean, they're a factor, but something. But
there is deduction. He goes after one person at a time,
and they have something that they did,
and it all connects together, though.
It all connects together, and finally, the people were, the two behind it are revealed. And like, okay, all of that makes sense for the most part. I mean, you got to suspend your disbelief, but But then
that moment comes.
And then they talked about the motivation, and that was when me and Gabe just kind of looked at each other and just went, Well, there went the movie.
Ha!
So
they went there, didn't they?
It turns out that that one of them, the mastermind behind the two,
as per kind of like The Rock. One of them was more of a mercenary, and the other guy was a believer. Yeah, one of them was a zealot.
One of them wanted the $150 million. The other just wanted to prove a point to America.
Yes. That
ever since 9/11, we have not been safe, and this illusion of safety is he's going to shatter it by saying that a U.S. Marshal, by planting evidence against the U.S. Marshal on board, that he took down a plane. So that was their entire motivation. So they say, like, 9/11, they're like, what am I think the reason why 9/11 affected him is that his wife was on one of the planes or was in the World Trade Center. Here's the thing, like, they don't call it 9/11. They don't say the World Trade Center attack. They just said when 3,000 people died that morning.
Well, I think he said his father died in.
Oh, was it father? I thought it was his wife.
For some reason I recall father. It doesn't matter.
Someone emotionally attached to this. Then he's like, so I tried to join the army, but it turned out that I was just fighting someone else's war. Like,
so basically, I'm going to cause a terrorist.
I'm going to cause a terrorist attack to make people realize that people are not safe from terrorist attacks.
I'm going to crash. It's like I'm going to blow up a plane so that people won't blow up a plane.
No. It wasn't like that. He's like, I'm going to blow up a plane to make people realize that you can be blown up in a plane.
Yeah, but it's like if he's trying to prevent this from happening.
I don't think he's trying to prevent it from happening. I think he was just trying to make people more disillusioned with airport safety. I guess that's the point.
The point. What I gathered from that was that the end justifies the means of increasing airport security because of this and making people more aware.
More aware, you know how. I love this one line in the movie. He says, like, "Do you know how easy this all was?" And I'm thinking, actually, this was actually very, very fucking difficult.
Yeah, but the point is that if he was trying to prevent this from happening in the future, which is what I got from it, he could have just waited for it to happen, and then that would have done the job just fine.
Yeah, I know.
And if somebody was going to do it, well, why does it matter if it was him or someone else?
I know.
Why go through all that trouble when it?
Why go through all that fucking trouble and ostensibly kill yourself because he was prepared to go down with the plane to blow it up.
The other guy wasn't prepared to do that.
No, the other guy wasn't.
I guess they didn't talk about this very much.
No. But here's the thing about movies like this. Like, if the villain just wanted it for the money, it would have been fine. If all they wanted was the money. And the whole pinning it on Liam Neeson was just smoke and mirrors so that way they couldn't trace it back. So that's fine. That makes sense. Greed makes sense in this context. But trying to pin something like higher-minded on this movie just makes it not only... It's like trying to pin something onto a balloon. It just pops. Yes. The movie just pops. And then all of a sudden, things that didn't bother you about the movie before start bothering you. Like, wait a minute. So this guy found a U.S. Air Marshal to sneak a bomb onto the plane using his cocaine.
Yes, cocaine.
So he had to find a corrupt U.S. Air Marshal besides Liam Neeson, who was also on the plane. But
boy, there were a lot of elements to this plan.
Yeah, I know. So, like, not only that, but sneak the bomb in the cocaine so that way he could go through security, no one screens him. Mm-hmm. Puts it on the plane so he could play it on the plane. Not only that, but also have a device that can hack into the security, like his cell phone. He can hack into his cell phone, have another cell phone on the computer, like on the airplane, that could remotely, you don't know input to destruction, but remotely do everything from like starting a bomb timer to sending text messages to his phone. So not only have that, but also, plan and coordinate key moments to kill the people that were on the plane using Karate darts that they managed to sneak through the plane and to kill all the people that he said he would kill every 20 minutes. And so all of that, and still count on the fact that one of the people on the plane would be videotaping the U.S. Air Marshal going in and out and losing his shit, then broadcasting that to the internet uploading on his phone.
The trappings of this whole plan,
it just,
the workings of it were this was the doings of somebody who was much more intelligent than the villain turned out to be. Somebody who would have a much more in-depth reason for what they did then.
This movie needed to pull a Die Hard. They wanted to make this... The movie needed, like, Hans Gruber, basically, to say, like, we're just trying to believe... We need them to believe that we're trying to make a point. We're just in it for the money.
Yes.
And, so that was great. That makes sense. And because of the motivation of the villain would have made more sense. You would have forgiven, like, all the loopholes that these characters had to go through to orchestrate all of this. And at the most of all, not have your villain say, "You know how easy this was."
Oh yeah, big fuck you to
the real us. Big fuck you to us. It's just, you know how easy it was to find the 1 out of 3,000 U.S. air marshals that happens to be routinely smuggling cocaine in his briefcase. Just smuggle a bomb on the plane and then hack it to your network.
Like if it unbreakable, if Mr. Glass is like, hey, how easy this was, how easy that was, finding you and blowing up all those trains, whatever.
Trains, and he just kind of trails off. Yeah, actually, that was very complicated. Why am I selling myself short? I'm a genius.
Yeah,
but. That moment happened, and the movie just kind of fell apart. And of course, Liam Neeson saves the day. His record is wiped clean, and him and Julianne Moore never had any kind of romantic attraction to each other, I don't think. But it's hinted at that, yeah, they're going to try to make a go. It
was implied, but it wasn't really acted out.
Yeah. Hell, they never even hugged.
Yeah.
Which I like.
No kiss,
I wish,
no hug, no.
I wish that they had, like, they just had, like a Sam and Frodo moment where they just look at each other and say, like, we've been through the shit, man.
Yeah.
But no, there's like...
I carried you through it.
They carried you through it, so...
No, I carried you through it.
They're not gay, okay? They're not gay! And I wish they just...
have to carry each other. Oh,
I can't carry the freak, Frodo, but I can't carry you! I was hoping that they would just kind of leave it at that, but, they had to say, so where are you off to? Like, well, that depends. So... It's like, okay, fuck you. Fuck me then, huh?
Yeah, Liam Neeson didn't need a blanket.
No. But God, Julianne Moore is wasted in this movie. Liam Neeson did good. And it was a fairly well-directed, well-acted movie. The cinematography got a little jumpy towards the end, but that was because, the plane's coming down.
Yeah, that's all right.
The plane comes down, but that still doesn't help with the fact that it's really hard to focus on during, like, the ending gunfight.
I did keep waiting for that truck to come out and support the tip of the plane.
You was wondering, like, if the movie was going to pull, like, a flight and have Denzel Washington fly the plane upside down to save the boat.
Well, that weird-ass commercial that came out with the...
Oh!
I don't remember, was it Ford or... I don't remember, but they had that truck supporting the front of the plane when its wheels give out.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. It looked like the same angle. I was waiting for the...
It's like, okay.
Every time now.
Commercials are ruining our lives. But that was the movie. It was, initial start, not much given, not much expected. Starts to outperform expectations. Reaches a height that you never thought this movie could achieve. And then just...
They pulled the 9/11 card.
The 9/11 card. The only time I've ever...
boy, that doesn't usually go very well.
No. The only time I've ever seen the 9/11 card being pulled out and have it not only save the movie, but make it better.
Oh, yes.
It was that Robert Pattinson film. God, I keep forgetting the title of the movie. But Robert Pattinson, basically, the whole movie, you don't know what the day it is. And then find out oh no, it's September 11th, 2001, and Robert Pattinson at the World Trade Center.
I haven't seen that movie yet.
Oh.
I need to see that.
The whole movie is just like this boring slush, but then the end happens, and you were just...
So this movie was basically the opposite.
Yeah,
the whole movie was pretty awesome and, well thought out, very intricate, and then And then the end comes.
Then the bottom gives out. Then the bottom is knocked out.
Yeah. Literally.
Yeah. So, I don't know, like, the final thoughts on the movie, I think this is the very first disappointing movie we've seen since we started. This is ultimately a disappointing movie. You didn't think... I did think I was going to be disappointed by the movie because I didn't have high expectations.
But our expectations were they did raise. And unfortunately, they were
dashed.
They were dropped.
But watch the first 2/3 of the film.
Yeah.
It's a good film. Then that last thing,
Yeah,
which we will never mention again. Till next time.